All right, children, welcome back to In Moses' Kitchen, where we'll be discussing the thesis statement as promised. If you have your packet at home, then you can take a look at that. If not, as I had promised yesterday, I uploaded all the papers from the research paper packet underneath the tab in Google Classroom labeled research paper. Very smart. So on one of the pages, it says pyramid format introduction. We've talked about this. In fact, it's the exact same approach we're going to take in the research paper that we took in your Iliad and Troy essay. So it's kind of a similar notion. I think it's pretty much been followed all the way up through your high school career. But the biggest thing I wanted to talk to you about is beginning to develop the thesis statement and how that should look. So if you've solidified a topic, okay, and once you have solidified a topic, what you want to do is, as you're researching and using the tools I showed you yesterday, you should hopefully find some key elements that you want to focus on, whether it's an author's style. If you were writing about Homer's style, for example, maybe you're going to analyze his use of the epic simile, his use of imagery, his use of characterization. Any of these things, I'm just giving you kind of ideas of what you want to look for as far as thinking about ideas to put into a thesis statement. So I created one for you that's in the packet, that's also on Google Classroom, that's on the screen currently. And what I did was I made one based off of the transition of religion that's exhibited in some of the pieces we've looked at, and how we transition from, the belief of multiple gods and the notion of polytheism and how that's reflected in the literature versus the belief of one God and how that's reflected in the literature. And obviously, I included the Iliad. I would include the Iliad. Then I would include Beowulf, and then I might look at a piece of medieval literature. But the idea when you think of a thesis is to stay specific, okay, but general enough where you're going to be able to analyze ideas within. So if you take a look at the example here, the third sentence of your introductory paragraph, just as we modeled and discussed in the Iliad and Troy essay, your third sentence is the most specific, and that's your thesis statement. And I usually say you should have somewhere between 3 and 5 ideas that you're going to analyze through the course of the paper, because then, if you have 3 ideas, for example, each of those ideas you're going to discuss for about 2 pages. So if you look here, it says Greek mythology and Anglo-Saxon and medieval literature express fate, destiny, and the religious belief of multiple gods, which transition to the idea of one God. Okay, and so again, this essay, this research paper is going to be discussing fate, destiny, and the religious concept in the transition from, again, polytheism to monotheism. So that's kind of the thesis statement in a nutshell. And if you have any questions about the thesis statement, obviously reach out to me, and I can help you out with that. And what I do, again, and I've told you guys this when we wrote the Iliad and Troy essay, but what I like to do is write down all of the things that I know are going to be in the research paper, what I'm going to be writing about. I list them all out, and then I kind of, like a jigsaw puzzle, put them together into one sentence. So, if I had listed out, for example, with this particular thesis statement here, okay, then I might have listed out Greek mythology, Anglo-Saxon, medieval literature, fate, destiny, and religion, okay, transition between monotheism and polytheism, and then I would have messed around with that statement until I created a thesis, okay? And that's basically the thesis statement. So we'll see you next time on In Moses' Kitchen. Obviously, you can see I'm running out of time on this 5-minute little blurb. Hope all is well with you guys, and hope to talk to you guys soon. And please feel free to reach out again if you have any questions at all. Happy times. All right, as soon as I figure out how to pause this. Bye-bye.